Hi, today I want to invite you to join me in my 36-day triceps push-up challenge. It's a lot of title there, but I wanted to be specific about what kind of push-up it was. What we're going to do in 36 days is work ourselves up to 30 push-ups. Now, for some of you, that might not seem like a lot. So if you want to do this challenge with us, you can double the amount of push-ups we do every day, or even triple it if you're feeling really, really strong and adventurous. For some of us are at a beginner level and we're just trying to get happy with doing a push-up. So we're going to start with getting to 30 push-ups in 36 days. Now what that means is that we're going to start, I'm going to get my little calendar here, is we're going to start next Tuesday, and next Tuesday will be January 21st. And we're going to be continuing all the way through. This will take us through the end of February. All right. So from there, what's going to happen is that we're going to add a push-up every day. So starting on next Tuesday, we'll start with one push-up. We can do that, right? And then on the day after that, we'll go to 2 push-ups, and then 3 push-ups on the 3rd day, 4 push-ups on the 4th day, and 5 push-ups on the 5th day. And on the 6th day, I want you to take a rest. Now, if you don't want to, that's fine. You could just do 5 again, but that's kind of how our plan is. And I'll actually have a PDF download and a PNG if you just want to look at it on your phone that you can use. And it's even got a little place to check off your boxes for every single day. So what we're going to do is continue after that, and we'll do 5 more. So then after we come back for that 6th day of rest, then on the 7th day, we're going to be doing 6 push-ups, and then the next day 7, and we're going to keep going. So we're adding a push-up a day with a little bit of a break every 5 days, or I guess that's every 6th day. Anyway, what that's going to do is get us to 30 push-ups by the end of February. And what we're going to do, if you happen to be someone who can join our Tuesday Zoom class, is at the end of our Zoom class on Tuesdays, after the mat workout is over, then we're going to get down onto the mat, get into whatever push-up position you can do. It might even be on the wall. And then we're going to do the number of push-ups for that Tuesday on our countdown. And I'll probably let everybody know ahead of time. But of course, for next Tuesday, it'll just be 1, right? But the Tuesday after that, by that time, we might be up to, I don't know, 7 or 6, I can't remember. And then we're just going to keep increasing that as we go. Now, keep in mind, there's a few different ways that you can do push-ups, right? So there's the full plank push-up like we've been doing in some of our Zoom workouts, which I'll demonstrate right now. And that's when you start in all fours, you take one leg out, toes are under, take the other leg out, and you're just in this full plank position, right? Hips are open, arms are slightly ahead of your shoulders. And when I say tricep push-ups, I really want you to do this specific kind of push-up. So that means that when you come down, your elbows are going to bend, but they're going to bend like the elbows are pointing towards your hips, and then you're going to push up. So I don't need it to be a big push-up. I just want you to bend those elbows a little bit if you can, and then push through the palms of the hands and get up. Good. So a tricep push-up keeps the elbows in close to the body. It's a little bit harder, but it also means that the triceps are really engaged. All right, so that's our full plank tricep push-up, right? But that's not always accessible to everybody. So if you want to do some modifications on that, it actually says on the PDF or the PNG that I'm going to be sending out to everybody. So here's some modifications that you could try. Let me read them from my list, my handy dandy mini PDF, right? So let's try half push-ups. So we could push up from our knees, right? So we're going to take ourselves out into a plank position, but our legs are just long from the knees to the feet. We've got that same position with our upper torso. We're going to bend the elbows a little bit and push it back up. Bend a little bit, push it back up. You might find you have more range here. That's fine. But I do want you to challenge yourself as you get stronger and start to add in those full plank push-ups here and there as you can. All right. So that's a half push-up, right? Now there's a few other options that you could do. So if you start to elevate yourself or push yourself higher, away from the surface that you're pushing, then you can find that it's a little bit more accessible or easier. So I'm going to go up to standing now so that you can see here. So if I have a raised surface, I'm going to start with a wall, but you can see what I'm doing here. Actually, let's go over this way. All right. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to stand at least 2 feet, maybe 3 feet away from the wall, and I'm going to bring my hands about shoulder height or maybe a teeny bit lower. They're going to be coming straight out from my shoulders, so I'm not getting them really wide. We're going to bend those elbows again, keeping them in close to your sides, like they're reaching towards your hips, and then pushing away. So you're really reaching tall from your heels through your head and pushing away, and bending and pushing away, and bending and pushing away. Now, if you want to increase the challenge on this a little bit, lift your hands a little bit, lift up onto your toes, and you'll feel that your arms have to work a little harder with your heels lifted. So this is a wall push-up. Now, one of the other things that you can do, let's see if I have a good example here, is if you're lifted up, you have push-up bars, you have a stool, or if you have some other raised surface like a table that doesn't move or your countertop, you can put your hands on that surface, right? And then you can do the push-ups there. So sometimes being a little bit lifted makes the lever a little bit easier to, let's see if I can get you down. Come on, there we go, good. Can make it a little bit more accessible also. So you're gonna lower down and up, keeping those elbows tight into the body and up, or from here, you can do it down and up. All right, so you can imagine, you could definitely do this on a higher surface from a table. You just wanna make sure your table doesn't move, and you wanna make sure your stool doesn't go sliding out from underneath you. But if you have push-up bars or even dumbbells, you can hold on to those and use those. So the other thing I want to talk about is that for a lot of us, we hate push-ups because of the wrist pain. So we need to find some ways to make this accessible for us. So we can pad under our hands so that our hands have a pad. We can roll up our mat so that we've got a little bit of lift for our hands. So our palms, or the heel of our palms, are lifted from our fingers. We can also go into what they call more of a kind of a cupped palm, and that can activate the back more, so it's not as much in the wrist. Also, make sure that your shoulders aren't right over your wrists. Make sure your arms are a little bit forward of your shoulders so that that angle is nice. And then I do have a whole video on this called Modifications for the Wrists. So if you want to, there are special gloves you can buy. I'll probably send a link for that in my email, but you can find them on my website in my prop store. And if you want to, you can also just use like a yoga wedge under your wrists to give your wrists a little bit of a lift. If you can change the angle that you're pushing up and down from, that can really take some of the strain off of the wrist. Now, I will tell you, at first you will be like, if your wrists aren't used to push-ups, but as your shoulders get stronger, your wrists won't mind it quite as much. So part of what you're feeling in the wrists is a lack of strength or a lack of help from the shoulder complex area. So if we can get that stronger, it should actually help the wrists. All right, so try a few different ways. If you've got any questions or any concerns, or you're wondering about helps or modifications, just reach out to me, email me. It's Angie@effloropilates.studio. That's Angie@effloropilates.studio. Just email me, or if you're seeing this in an email, just hit reply and that email will get right back to me. All right, I hope to see you on this challenge, and all right, happy pushing up.